Hello, my friends. My name is Darren Gerdes, and this is the Daily Brief. Last night I got the three big stories out late, but it's very important. Please go back and watch that immediately after this. At this point, Trump is going to be the candidate, and that's where we are. So the question is, what do we do about that, and where do we go from here? Beyond that, I talked about the missile strike that was close to Zelensky again, and gave a little bit more to the story. And then I also talked about how the British have a way of potentially splitting the difference in getting that aid to Ukraine by seizing assets. Well, kind of seizing assets. And I'm not sure exactly what I think about it, but you ought to watch that. Okay, so where are we today? Well, the numbers are about where they have been. 1,160 killed and wounded, 17 tanks, 51 armored vehicles, and 53 vehicles. Now, I didn't see any aircraft down. So this tells me that there's still heavy fighting, but there's not necessarily, and I could be wrong about this, the glide bombers, right? The glide bombers are what's bringing the aircraft close enough that they have to be, that they're in range of being shot down. And we've only seen 3 for the month and not in the last 3 or 4 days. Okay, can't rule out that Russia targeted Zelensky and Greek PM. Ukrainian aid says this was carried in Reuters. My case was, I don't know. It could have been coincidence or it could have been targeting. He was somewhat out in the open. It was, Russia could see what was going on. And I want to show you this one line. It took the missiles less than 3 minutes to reach the target, the site of the port of Odessa. But that puts it in perspective. Had we had enough air defense, this ballistic missile could have been intercepted. So, yeah, that's just some amazing perspective. Okay, U.S. Congress may begin collecting signatures on Friday to consider assistance to Ukraine bypassing the House Speaker. So what's going on here? Fitzpatrick, who's championing this cause, claims he's a Republican congressman, claims that if Johnson does not put the project to a vote, the signature collection process will begin. This is a pressure point to try to apply pressure to force something to the floor. The congressman stated that if the House of Representatives cannot reach an agreement on the bill, the alternative can't be that Ukraine fails and our border remains open. Okay, so something's going to happen. The process is just slower than we all like, but something will get done. Okay, next, Czech Republic to suspend talks with Slovakia over Russia ties. So Peter Pavel of the Czech Republic has been hardcore in defense of Ukraine, and on the other side, Fico in Slovakia has been absolutely a disaster. The Czech Republic has announced it's suspending intergovernmental consultations with Slovakia. Wow, I want to show you this one little bit here. A study last year by Globsec think tank found that only 40% of Slovaks said that Russia was primarily responsible for the war in Ukraine. What? 34% said it was the West which provoked Russia. Well, that's a Russian talking point. And 17% said it was primarily the responsible of Ukraine, which oppressed the Russian-speaking part of the population, which is also a Russian talking point. Wrap that around your mind. Okay, British intelligence update. This is interesting. The Russian forces have continued attacks intended to expand control around the towns of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine. So from Bakhmut and Avdiivka, they just keep pushing westward. On this axis, Russia's immediate operational objective is almost certainly to seize Chasiv Yar. I wouldn't say seize Chasiv Yar. It might be more like destroy Chasiv Yar, located approximately 5 kilometers from the front line. Despite some gradual tactical gains, it's highly unlikely that Russian forces are currently able to attempt a full-scale assault on the town. But that doesn't mean they're not going to keep pressing and pressing and pressing. Here's a deep state map. I rolled it back 1 month ago. Here's Chasiv Yar, here's Bakhmut. Let me scroll in just a little bit so you can see the kind of, and you'll see how much ground that they have gained. Here we go. Let's just look at it day over day as I move the deep state map. They're moving toward it headlong. And this is today. Okay, so they're on their way to Chasiv Yar, and if you're in Chasiv Yar, it's time to get out because this is what they want to do as they are going to take this road, and they're going to take Chavashar, and they're going to keep pressing west unless they're stopped. And they can only be stopped if the Ukrainians have equivalent ammunition to be able to defend themselves. Okay, I don't know what to make of this. I saw this yesterday and I thought, are you kidding me? This is John Kerry. He's the environmental czar liaison officer. I don't even know what his title is. It's something about just climate change something. And he said this about Russia, and we'd all feel better if Russia was engaging in more climate change initiatives while they're at, I'm not exactly sure how this works.
But,
you tell me what you think.
Russia has the ability to be able to make enormous changes if it really wanted to. I mean, if Russia has the ability to wage a war illegally and invade another country, they ought to be able to find the effort to be responsible in the climate issue. Unfortunately, because of the actions that Russia took in an unprovoked, illegal war against another nation, we have not been engaged in discussions with Russia. Sadly, I say sadly because it's a loss for the world not to be able to have Russia acting constructively on this issue. But we need every country, including Russia. Russia is one of the largest emitters in the world. If Russia wanted to show good faith, they could go out and announce what their reductions are going to be and make a greater effort to reduce emissions now. And maybe that would open up the door for people to feel better about what Russia is choosing to do at this point in time.
I don't think I'd feel any better about Russia choosing to invade Ukraine if they were, showing good faith about climate emission reduction. I don't think that would change anybody's mind at all. But all right, that's all that I have. Thank you for your time and the likes and the shares and the subscribes. And please go back. Please, 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 I want you to understand what's gone on here. Go back and watch 3 big stories from last night. It was very important, and you need to digest this. All right. All right, that's really all that I have.